Hi everybody, this is Courtney and I would like to once again address the effects of pornography. So if we look, it says pornography is available, has many long-lasting effects on a person's mind, heart, and relationships, and is in fact the hardest addiction to recover from. Research has shown that there is in fact a relationship between mental illness and heavy viewing of pornography. Those who work in the field of trauma and recovery have stated that an addiction to pornography is the hardest addiction to recover from. And pornography is, in fact, a drug that is almost unavoidable because of the many forms it is available in. To start, I would like to explain my research on how pornography affects the brain. Dr. Norman Doidge, a researcher at Columbia University, tells how pornography creates triggers of certain chemicals in the brain that lead to lasting differences in chemical balances in the brain. One point that Dr. Doidge points out is the effect of, the brain on the attention and the focus of the viewer. Flow is the word that he uses. Flow meaning the deep, satisfying, and focus of attention. He says that we also experience this when we're reading a book or in a workout or in a movie because we're very focused on what we're doing, what we're viewing, or what we're reading. A lot of times people, when they're reading a book or watching a movie or in a workout, they're able to completely zone in and focus in on what they're doing and kind of let go and forget about the world around them. Pornography does the exact same thing. It also makes them lose track of time. He related this to when we, for example, get on Facebook. There are times that we scroll through Facebook and we're just looking. We say, I'll only do it for a few minutes, and then you look at the clock, and what do you know? It's half an hour, 40 minutes later. The focus on the viewer is so intense that even years later, one is known to be able to recall the exact details of whatever was viewed, regardless if it was a movie or a video. Because of the focus of the viewer, they're able to remember everything that they viewed. Pornography releases a mixture of chemicals in the brain that give one a temporary buzz. That buzz creates a strong desire to have that feeling back. Delta phosphate, a chemical pathway in the brain, is designed to create strong mental connections in the brain. Now, these are where relationships are. This is where your likes and your interests are, things like that, because you have an emotional connection to them. As we see pornography, that part of the brain envelops and develops and it becomes stronger. And because of the feeling that is released, which is the feeling of pleasure, that feeling is fought for and it is needed more and more and more. And this chemical is actually present in somebody's brain for months, sometimes even years, which is why pornographers will continue to feel the strong desire for more. They constantly need more of it because of this chemical release. So the reward system is the pleasure system. Now, specialists in the study of the brain recall the pleasure system, which is where the high and the increase of the high happens when pornography is viewed. The pleasure system is also when something healthy is going on. When we eat something that's really good and how good it feels to be eating that, the same chemical is released when we view pornography. The problem with this is that the brain does not know the difference between a negative and a positive signal. It just knows this feels good. I don't know what this source is, but it feels good and I want to have more of it. Whether it's more chocolate cake or more pornography, the brain will not know the difference. So the co-director of the Sexual Trauma and Psychopathic Pathology program has stated that those who are addicted to pornography have a harder time getting over pornography than they do if they are addicted to drugs, alcohol, and other substances. Because of the effect that sexual activity has on the brain, it's difficult to overcome pornography. Pornography makes one want to act out the images in sexual situations they have seen. A chemical called dopamine, which controls actions and feelings, is strong in their mind and will not go away until they have something to release it. At times, if one cannot have a partner to act these out in, this is where prostitution, rape, and sexual assault will occur because they're just that desperate to have this release, have this finally acted out, that they go to that. Because of the makeup in the brain, the flow and memory of the person's viewing of pornography, it is difficult to get the images out of a person's head. Images stay in somebody's mind forever, whether it is a picture that they once saw of somebody they knew, a video or a movie that they once saw, whatever it is, images do not leave the brain. This is another reason why pornography is the hardest addiction to get over, because the brain captures those images and keeps them in there forever, and they do not leave. They can't leave. Researchers in the medical field, such as Dr. Norman Volkow, have shown a relationship between mental illness and pornography. A lot of people, when they view pornography, they feel ashamed. They feel bad that they felt this release. They feel bad about what they have viewed, and this addiction, it gets so bad that they get embarrassed to come out to somebody and say, I am addicted to this and I need help. So that creates a lot of depression, and it creates a little bit of anxiety. It creates depression because people feel that maybe they will not be loved or accepted by those they love most because of their addiction, and it creates anxiety that somebody might find out somehow. And a lot of suicides have actually happened from people who are addicted to pornography because they just refuse to seek help because they don't want to admit to others that they are struggling with such a strong addiction. Pornography is available in all sorts of media. We view it, we hear it, we see it. It's everywhere, and it sneaks up on people. And a lot of times, this sneak up that happens is what leads somebody to have an addiction to pornography. They may see a pornographic image on the cover of a magazine, and then all of a sudden they're addicted. In closing, pornography has lasting effects on a person's on relationships and a person's brain. It is hard to get over, and it is hard to avoid. And